Happy Super Bowl weekend. Yes, the Super Bowl is finally here, and it's your favorite podcast, Burgers and Brats, here to break all that down. Got a great episode for you. Gonna be breaking down, predicting what all happens in the Super Bowl, some fun prop bets. It's always fun to go over the prop bets for the Super Bowl, especially the halftime show, and then going around the other sports news in the world. And the Olympics are currently going on. But before we dive into that, we've got a very special guest, former co-host of the Burgers and Broads podcast. Matt Marks is joining to break down a Super Bowl. I mean, it's tradition. Me and Matt are breaking down Super Bowls. It's just what happens.
Feels like 2019.
What about 2020?
I forget that year.
Yeah, I forget that year happened too. I mean, it's been 2 years. I guess there was 2021. Was there 2021? I don't even know. What year is this?
Been a while,
2019,
man.
we weren't even doing
Been a
this, I
while.
don't think.
Were we not? I don't know. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
We did over 100 episodes together, so
We
it's
did 100.
been a long time.
Yeah, 2 years. But thanks for coming back on to talk some Super Bowl. I know we've talked a little bit about it during the week. We're both very excited for this matchup. I don't know who you're picking. You don't know who I'm picking. I don't think I decided until today who I thought would win. It's gonna be fun. Are you excited to have a Super Bowl you can just enjoy instead of maybe rooting against a certain team or player?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Looking forward to the commercials too. Like always, it's gonna be a all-around great game.
Yeah, I haven't seen. Usually they show some or they put out some commercials already. I haven't really looked at it, but we have to go around Twitter and see what is coming out this year. Last year was pretty good, so expect a good year this year, especially since it's not going to be all pandemic related, for sure. But diving into the Super Bowl, the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals both are 4 seeds, making it to the Super Bowl. Rams open up, or they are currently a 4-point favorite, which is pretty steep for me. What I thought it would be, and then over under 48.5 points. So expect some points to be scored. Vegas definitely thinks so. Both teams pretty heavy on the offense, not great on the defense. Rams are a little bit better, but both have definitely been relying on their quarterbacks and those star receivers they have. Matt, what are your thoughts going into the Super Bowl? What are some matchups you want to see and all that?
Yeah, well, let's start real quick with Cincinnati. Cincinnati has played really well, and thanks to one guy, well, two guys. Joe Burrow, obviously, quarterback, but Evan McPherson, their kicker, has been Money Mac has been clutch as ever. 12 field goals this postseason, 4 games. He has won the last 2 games thanks to his leg. I mean, this guy has been automatic, okay? And he's going to be key to this game. 4 field goals a game. I mean, he's the offense. He's pretty much been the offense. You look at that first game in the wild card round, 26-19 was the final. Obviously, we saw the interception right at the end of the game. Derek Carr throws it. They're in the, it's like fourth and 9.
Yeah.
This is their shot. They got to tie it up here. Throws a interception. And then the last 2 games, the Titans 19-16 win, and then the Chiefs 27-24. And it comes down to Evan McPherson. So that combo, Burrow gets him down the field. McPherson makes it automatic. Now you look on the Rams side. Okay. You got a guy who had 2,000, what was it? Was it like 2,000 receiving yards or almost 2,000 receiving yards in Cooper? One of my favorite players that I've always loved picking in fantasy because he's been automatic as well. And he's obviously going to be the key. I think a guy that you got to watch for is OBJ. If OBJ has a really good game, you're solid. Now you can win without him going strong, but if he's having a really good game, it's almost unbeatable with the offense they've got. Matt Stafford, good to see him. I mean, all the years he suffered in Detroit. Yeah. This is fun. And the Super Bowl is in LA. So have fun with that, fans. Have fun with that for the Rams.
It's going to be fun in LA. And like you said, McPherson, 4 field goals a game. That's just about as much field goals a game as the Bengals have scored in the postseason touchdown-wise. Bengals only have 5 touchdowns in the last 3 games. So they definitely need some offense to keep up with the high-powered Rams. But it's going to be fun to see Zach Taylor, Sean McVay, that young Bengals offense and defense, basically, but versus that experienced, proven players for the Rams, and just Matt Stafford going to a Super Bowl. Just amazing. He got his first ever playoff career win this year, and he's going to a Super Bowl, beat Tom Brady. So it's fun to watch. And like you said, Cooper Kupp, my MVP. That's my MVP for the NFL this year. It's been fun watching him play. But some storylines for the field. The Rams are number 3 in sacks, while the Bengals are 29th overall in sacks allowed per game. So you're gonna have to watch that game or watch that, especially with Von Miller and Aaron Donald on opposite sides of the field. LA only giving up 270 yards total a game. That's pretty remarkable in the postseason, and only 54 yards per game on the ground. So can they stop Joe Mixon and P Ryan? A lot of bubble screens, running back screens for them. So also just Joe Mixon, he's been on a tear. We'll see if he can. The Rams defense can stop that, and the Rams D only allows scores on 35% of the opponent's possessions. While since he has a strong trio of receivers, Burrow is number 2 in passing rating and leads the league in completion percentage at 70%. So those are just some of the stories for on the field. It's going to be a fun matchup. I haven't been this excited about a football game since my Broncos played in 2015. Matt, I guess you haven't been alive for your team to go to a Super Bowl, have you?
Thanks.
So you don't understand the excitement.
That hurts. That hurts.
You know I had to. You know I had to.
I know you had to. That was expected, but it still hurts.
What are your keys to win for the game on both sides of the field?
Yeah, well, okay. Cincinnati. Obviously, Joe Burrow continuing what he's doing, but like you said, Braxton, offensively, they've got to get more touchdowns. Sure, you can rely on McPherson, but that's also if your defense
It's a kicker. It's a kicker, Matt. You can't ever rely on a kicker forever.
That's true. That's true. But that's also too contingent upon that your defense is right there. If your offense is going to struggle, then your defense needs to be stellar. And you mentioned the stats. Their defense is, compared to the Rams, it's not the same.
It's not there, but it's average.
But I like what you said. I mean, Joe Mixon, I love the guy. OU, I'm excited for the stage. Him, Samaje Perine. That's a good combo right there.
Yeah.
We'll see what they can do. Both are very successful when they play. And, that's going to be the running game is going to be key. I mean, look, they just took down Kansas City and they competed with that offense. Sure, Patty Mahomes, the second half was the worst thing you could probably see. And that was not what you see from Patty Mahomes. But that offense, the offense came alive in the second half too. So that running game is going to be important. For the Rams, obviously defense. The defense is nasty. The trades they made, this is a scary defense. No one wants to face them. And then offense is very simple. Get the ball to Cooper Kupp. Okay? Yes, you want to have some running game, but it's all about Stafford connecting to his wide receivers, or any player anyway, tight end. And I think Tyler Higbee may be injured still, or I don't know what his status is for the game. But your tight end, your wide receivers, whoever you want to throw it to. That's what the key of the game is going to be, throwing the ball. The running game, sure, is always a positive, but that's not where it's going to come from the Rams. It's Matt Stafford airing the ball out, getting touchdowns, and then seeing what the kicker is, Matt Gay making his kicks and field goals too. I think this is going to be a very close game the whole way through and a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, and like you said, Joe Mixon's been balling, averaging over 4 yards a carry, while the Rams have only given up 40 or 54 yards a game on the ground. Like I said, does Cooper Kupp have to have over 100 yards for the Rams to win?
Yes,
over 100 yards. All right, even with Odell and all them. All right, I can't decide on that because they have so many different weapons, and I think Matt Stafford knows how to get them all involved. And some of my keys of the game. I don't think Burrow can get sacked more than 2-3 times if they want to win this game. Because, that just means the Von Miller, Aaron Donald is getting to the quarterback. They're going to hurry. Getting sacks is just wears down the O-line and just makes them mentally not think they can guard Von Miller. Let's see. Mixon, I think he's got to get over 75 yards of rushing. I think he needs 75 yards. And then P. Ryan, I think he needs at least 25, maybe 30. I think they need to balance this attack just because the Rams have so many offensive weapons. And then Boyd, Higgins, Chase. I think they all need over 5 receptions with over 60 yards. That's probably my sweet spot number, but I think Chase, that dude's balling. That dude might get 200 yards. There's just so many weapons there. And I think Burrow, 3 touchdowns. I think Burrow needs 3 touchdowns for them to maybe have a comfortable lead, win maybe by a score or more. Is that too many?
No.
3?
No.
I think 3. 3
good.
seems like a good number. And then the Rams, some of my keys of the game. OBJ and Jefferson, they need 50 yards each, at least in receiving yards. Run game, over 100 yards. They average about 99.1 yards a game on the ground. So I think the Rams need just over that, maybe 100. Keep Burrow off the field. 3+ sacks, and then Donald Miller, get those quarterback hurries. I think that definitely helps their chances. And then, like, I guess I agreed with you. Cup, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cup has 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I think the Rams are in a very favorable spot. And then the last thing the Rams can do, use their experience. That's the most important thing. You're the older team. You got these experienced dudes in the playoffs, except the quarterback. But, I mean, he's a very talented guy, very experienced. So those are some of my keys to the game, pretty much lined up in the same thing. So, Matt, I'm going to ask you, I have no idea who you're picking. Who is your Super Bowl? What number is this? Is this 55, 4?
I have no clue.
6, 7? I have no
It's
idea.
up there.
Something like that.
It's up there.
Who is your Super Bowl champion? And I want to tell you this real quick. The Rams, 3-1-1 against the spread in their last 5 Super Bowls. They're currently favored by 4.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this, Braxton. It is everyone's favorite thing when you get to watch a true Cinderella and underdog story. And so with that, I'm going Cincinnati.
Going the young guns. Joe Cool.
Yep. I love both teams. I really do. Big fan of Cooper Kupp. And I would love to see it for Stafford, but Cincinnati.
There's just so many likable guys. It's hard to pick.
It really is. It's tough. I don't even hate either team. No.
And well, this thing goes towards the Bengals, but so you're with Madden on this one. Madden, they picked the Bengals to win, and they have a 61% accuracy rating in Super Bowls since 2004. So Madden has the Bengals to win. So you're with Madden. But Matt, I'm going Rams. I'm picking the Rams to win this game. I just trust. Matt Stafford. Okay, he's had some bad passes down the late in the games, but I think he cools it down a little bit. I just think the experience gets him. I think the Cinderella story ends. The Cinderella story, it always comes to an end right before midnight. Super Bowl is midnight, so that's a great analogy right there I just had. But I think the story ends. I think Joe Cool has his team set up for a long time in Cincinnati. Zach Taylor's done a great job. But I just think the Rams win. Too much experience, home field advantage, if you can say that in the Super Bowl. Defense, and Stafford has been longing for this his whole career. And I'm going the Los Angeles Rams to win 31-27. So, Matt, we're differing on our Super Bowl picks. I couldn't decide. It's going to be so fun to watch. I'm excited to watch it.
It's tough, but I'll tell you this: Burrow loves the big stage.
Yeah, and I'm not cheering for Skyline Chili to win this. I don't want Skyline Chili to win. I'm not a fan. It sucks.
Not a fan.
Straight up, Cincinnati, you listening right now? Your Skyline Chili, it sucks. Yeah, it's not good. Don't bring that to the Super Bowl parade if you win. They're gonna be throwing Skyline Chili everywhere. Don't be doing that because it's awful. But all right, Super Bowl picks are in. It's gonna be so fun to watch. Oh, I'm so excited for that. I mean, you know what else I'm excited for? The Super Bowl prop bets. It's always fun. There I've got a lot down here. I don't think we may not cover all of them because I just wrote like all of them down. But we're gonna go through some of these, what our predictions are. So Matt Stafford, passing yards. The over-under is set at 279. His average is 287. I'm going over. I think it's gonna be high scoring, like I said. And then Joe Burrow, The over-under set at 273. His average is 282. So these quarterbacks are right in the ballpark of each other within 5 yards. And I'm taking the over on that one too. You taking overs on the quarterbacks?
Yes, I agree with you. Over and over.
All right,
Over,
sweet. Rushing yards. We got a few running backs here. Cam Akers, over under set at 63. His average, way under that. He's been injured the whole year. He's only been back like 4 games or something. I'm going under or over. Cam Akers.
I'm gonna go under.
All right. Michelle, his over under is only 20 and a half. His average 4 yards a carry. Not second string though. I'm gonna go over on that one. I think he can bust a run for 20 yards.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go over.
All right. And then Mixon, Cincinnati backfield. His over under is at 60. Average 4.5, just over 4 yards, like I mentioned earlier. I think I'm gonna go over on this one. He's had a really good career. I think the Rams or the Bengals come out running. Or I think they can build a lead and maybe run for a little bit. So I'm going over on the Mixon.
Give me the over.
All right, and then P. Ryan. This is everyone. Please put this in your parlay. Please, the over under for Samaje P. Ryan, 5.5 yards. Guys, come on, take the over on this one. Put this in your parlay. I'm begging you, man. Come on, over on P. Ryan. That's not even a question.
Over. Yeah.
Over 5.5 yards. Come on, as a backup, I think you can get that. All right, receiving yards. Cooper Kupp. All right, Matt. Well, this is at our breaking point thing. His over under is set at 104. This one's tough. I think I'm gonna go just under. I think it's right there, but I think I'm gonna go just under on that.
I think he's aimed for a big day, but I'm going the over.
Over. All right. Jamar Chase, 78.5. I'm going over.
Over.
Jefferson, Vance Jefferson, 28.5. He averages 16 yards a catch. I'm going Van Jefferson over.
I'm going under. I don't think he's going to actually do much. He may get. I think it's going to be one of those games. He may get a catch or two. I know he's up there, but I don't think he's going to factor in much. I'm going under.
He just gets those long balls as well.
He does. He's the guy that you just air it out. And he's the only open guy down the field. And he scores a long touchdown for 80 yards. I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah. So maybe one of those. But Tyler Boyd, 39.5, averages about 12 yards a catch. I think I'm gonna go under on this one. I think he's maybe in the low 30s.
I'll go under with you.
All right. And then TD scores. Who's your first touchdown scorer?
Ooh, just in the game or
in the game?
In the game. I'm going Cooper Kupp. Yeah. That's who I'm going.
Yeah. I think I'll go Kupp or Mixon. One of those two. I think it'll be running for the Bengals and then passing for Rams. But where are TD scores? Does Kupp score? Yes. All right. Yes. Mixon.
Yes.
Jefferson. Plus 240. Plus 240 to score. I said yes on this one. These are my touchdown scores I'm going with. OBJ.
I don't know. Well, if I'm saying no to, I'm gonna say yes because otherwise, who else is there really? Yeah, I'll have to go yes.
I'm going OBJ at plus 140. I think Stafford's gonna spread the love in this game. I think that's how they win this game. That's how I have Cooper Kupp not getting that 104 yards because of spreading. And then T. Higgins.
Ooh.
I think that's my other one. So I don't have Chase scoring a touchdown in this.
No to Higgins.
I don't have Chase scoring. I think he gets yards. I don't think he scores though.
I got him.
I think they find other ways. Yeah. All right, game props. Let's go to some game props. First play of the game. Rush minus 144, pass plus 118. I'm going rush.
I'm going pass.
Pass. Wow. All right, yeah, they are pass happy teams. Score in the last 2 minutes of the first half. Yes.
Obviously.
Yes. All right. And then how many players pass? How many players throw a pass in this game? The under is minus 190, over plus 155. I'm going over. There's gonna be a trick play in this game. They just got to attempt it. You just got to have
There has to be. So I'll go with you. Yep.
All right, both going over. 2-point conversion.
Ooh.
A yes is plus 160.
I'm gonna say no in this game. I
Mm.
think yeah, straight one.
I
Yeah.
put yes in this one. I just think it's gonna be so close and everything. First penalty, Bengals or Rams?
Bengals.
Same on the Bengals. And then just a
They'll
few
do
more
something
things.
stupid.
Yeah, it'll be a holding call. It'll be a holding call. That's my prediction. And then the last game prop before we go to halftime, the MVP. Here's some of the odds on this one. Jamar Chase and Aaron Donald plus 2,000. Cooper Cup plus 700. That seems kind of high to me. Plus 700 on that. And then Joe Burrow plus 230. Matt Stafford plus 105. So obviously Matt Stafford is the favorite, and the Rams are the favorite in this one. Who's your MVP?
Well, if the Rams win, it's Cooper Cup. It will be Cooper Cup.
All right, yep.
Yeah.
I'm going Cooper Cup because I think we can get that 2 touchdowns. If he has 2 touchdowns over 100 yards, it's Cooper Cup.
Yeah.
All right, just a few of these halftime shows or halftime prop bets. The first artist shown, Matt. Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Mary Blige, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar. Who is it gonna be?
That's a tough one. I don't know.
I'm going Snoop or Dre just because I'm going them.
Probably so. Yeah, give me Snoop.
All right, and then the first song performed, California Love.
Yeah.
California Love plus
Yeah.
200. All right, we're going
Yeah.
on that. All right, and then here's a funny one. Will Snoop Dogg smoke? The yes is plus 300, while the no is minus 450.
Yes, he will.
Yes, big. Those are some big
Yes.
odds. You throw a
Yeah.
dollar in. I might throw a dollar on that.
Do
But
it.
yeah, Snoop Dogg smoking is a prop bet. How many songs? They've got the over under set on 8.5 or 9, basically. So, or yeah, over 8.5 or under 10.5. So I think I'm going over the 8.5. I think I'm going 9
I'll
because
go
it's a
under.
lot of artists.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'll
It's
go
6
under.
artists, 5 artists. So I'm going over on that one. And then the Eminem hair color, brown and black, white and blonde, or other.
Give me white and blonde.
White and blonde. I'm going brown and black on this one just because I think he's older. I think he's toning it down a little bit.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then finally, first Eminem song.
Ooh. Can't even think of the name.
Yeah,
I hear
like
it.
Lose Yourself, Slim Shady, Not Afraid. What's the other main one?
I feel like I think it's gonna be Lose Yourself, but I feel like Not Afraid is gonna definitely. But I'm gonna go Lose Yourself. Yeah.
I'm going Slim Shady on this one.
Okay.
I think they open up Slim Shady. Oh, that'd be nice. And then Matt, I have one prop bet I think all our listeners need to hear. So my 100% bet, the Samaj P. Ryan one, but the coin toss with the defer, if the team who wins defers, so 92% of the teams defer after winning a coin toss. 12 of the last 13 Super Bowls, the winner deferred to the second half. Sean McVay has won the coin toss 48 times, Matt. How many times has he deferred? He's won it 48 times. How many times has he deferred to the second half?
Once.
48 times.
Okay. Well, opposite of what I said. There you go.
He's deferred every time to the second
Thanks.
half. And then Zach Taylor, he's won the coin toss in 27 games. How many times has he deferred?
Once.
26.
Dang it.
Just opposite.
That was a trick one. It was come back that way.
So between these two guys, they've only deferred once in their career. Or not
Cool.
deferred. They have not deferred once in their career.
Strategy.
So take that bet. Take that bet, especially in the last 12 Super Bowls. They have deferred. So that's some pretty easy prop bets right there. I always love the prop bets. They're always fun to talk about. So that is really everything we got dealing with the Super Bowl right now. So let's move into some other news, some breaking news. Chloe Kim won just defended her gold medal in the half pipe. So congrats to Chloe Kim, back-to-back Olympic gold in the snowboarding half pipe. So congrats to her. Medal count as of now, this probably changes. I haven't updated it since the Olympics are going on right now. But Germany is in the lead with 8 total. 5 gold. Norway, 10 total, 4 gold. Third place, Sweden, 7 total, 4 gold. And the US right now is at 10th with 7 total and only 1 gold. Well, I guess add a few more golds to that with Chloe. But USA got to step it up a little bit. These other teams, they got some whole field advantage with the mountains and all that. So, you watching much of the Olympics?
Just a little bit, not a whole lot. Is it bad that I've kind of forgot it's on? To be
Yeah, I
honest,
mean, it's easier to watch the Summer Olympics. I like the Olympics. I like
yeah,
watching both.
it's
I
been
love the
fun to watch.
snowboarding.
Yeah, but I just I have kind of forgot it's on. But it when I have seen it, it's been impressive. Really, some talented athletes for sure.
I like how it's on so late. I kind of like it. It's just
Yeah,
on something to watch before you go to bed and all that. So
and it's kind of peaceful just to
yeah.
sit there and watch. I mean, it really the talent is incredible. I know if I even tried that, I'd fall right on my butt, and it'd be done. Like it's just like how do you do that? You watch that and go like how like perfected it is. It's I mean the work they put in, it's incredible.
Yeah, it really is, especially for some of those high flyers. But so NBA trade deadline happened. There was one massive trade, really. We had a trade with Utah and Joe Ingles as wherever he was sent, the Blazers, I believe. Who even cares? But the big two kind of big trades. CJ McCollum was actually traded to the Pelicans with Larry Nance and Tony Snell. So surprising trade. I was a little taken back, a little surprised by it. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, we knew McCollum was going to go somewhere. He was being shopped. That was no secret. I was surprised New Orleans kind of I didn't hear their name a lot. I knew that one of the teams. I thought Dallas would have a shot, but yeah, this was a good move for New Orleans, and it's an end of an era for Portland. I look at Portland and Braxton. We've talked about this Portland team a lot in the past. They've made the playoffs every year that they had CJ McCollum and Dame. And they had a really good thing going under former coach Terry Stotts. I mean, they would make the playoffs. They were a high seed or middle of the pack. They just couldn't get out of the first round. Now they've taken a big step back with Chauncey Billups this year. Now, look, there have been injuries. This has not been the same strength of team, but I mean, I've got to look. I don't have it pulled up, but I think like 12 games under 500. This is not a good Portland team this year. And, you go back to the offseason. I mean, I think Chauncey Billups is going to be a good coach. We'll see how his career continues. This is only his first year, but remember they had Becky Hammon interviewed, and then there was a lot of issues with why didn't they give her the job? And then like their GM, there was maybe some like sexual misconduct, stuff or something that was going on in like toxic front office and stuff like that. It was kind of a mess in the off season. But this is really kind of a sad end of the era because I think Dame is going to want out. I think they're going to have a messier upcoming off season that Dame's going to want out. And then that team is just done. I mean, they've traded all these pieces to the Clippers, and it's kind of it's a really, the storybook is over for Portland, and they're going to have to completely do a rebuild. And Dame doesn't want to be a part of that, right? So,
I don't know. He might.
yeah, maybe, but it just New Orleans got better. You got a piece that you wanted, and then the Blazers are just treading water, and it's not going to be a great end of the season for them.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long, maybe even a decade in Portland starting now.
Could be, yeah.
I think Dame's out now. Maybe by the end of this year, maybe next year, but he's got to get out. You can't stay in Portland. Just ruin your career. But like you're saying, they're 13 games under 500. They're currently the 11th seed though, so they're still almost in the play-in game. A game and a half outside of the play-in tournament in the West. So, but Portland, yeah, they're done. They're done. So I was a little shocked by it, but I don't care. I'm not a Portland fan. Get Dame out, I guess. Send his talent somewhere else. Just rebuild in Portland. Pacers, Blockbuster trade. They trade Sabonis, Lamb, and Holiday to Sacramento for Halliburton, Heald, and Tristan Thompson. both teams are third worst in their conferences. So just trading some players. It's a pretty even trade, I must say. I really can't tell you who win. I think Halliburton's a good player. I know Buddy Hield's a great player. He just doesn't take as many shots as he needs to. Right now, though, I'll probably say the Pacers won this trade. Because I mean, those Pacers All Stars are Sabonis, supposed to be an All Star, great player, third to last in the Eastern Conference. So bringing some new guns, I'll go Pacers win this one. I don't know yet. But Halliburton, Hield, good talent.
Yeah, I mean, why did the Kings exist in the NBA? I mean, that's a very valid question.
Yeah.
I mean, they're garbage. They are a dumpster fire every year. I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how they still have a fan base.
I don't think they do. I've never met a Sacramento fan, even on Twitter.
I mean, it's crap. The performance is crap. The team is crap. The owners are crap. I mean, the whole team. It's a mess. And I saw on Twitter people going, "Are you crazy? You're trading a." I think it was one of my friends that tweeted this that said, "Hey, you're trading what could be you're a diamond right here in Tyrese Halliburton, the guy that can be your franchise guy, your franchise point guard, and you trade him away. And he's how old is he? 21?
Young
Is
20s,
he that
yeah,
young?
very young.
Young 20s? Maybe not 21. I don't know. Trade him away. And I like Sabonis. I think that's a great pickup. Like Sabonis is he can get you all the boards you want. Sabonis is in a way of kind of like prime, making this comparison, kind of prime Kevin Love, right? Back in like even not even prime, up and coming Kevin
He's
Love.
good, but he can't carry.
Yeah, I mean, he'll get all the boards and all the points you want. I'm shocked. I mean, Sabonis was injured. This Pacers team has been really injured. I'm shocked how bad they have been. I mean, I'm Mavs fan here. We had Rick Carlisle. He left the Mavs. He went back to Indiana. He did a great job there. I'm surprised how bad they struggled under Rick Carlisle this year. But again, injuries. So that plays a big role into it. But still, they're like the third worst, is what you said. They're like the third
Yep.
worst of the West.
Both teams are third worst in their conference.
Or not West, East. Yeah, that's tough to swallow. But this was a weird trade, really. I thought I saw earlier that Sabonis was going to go to Washington. So when the news broke, I was like, okay, what did Washington get? Did not think it'd be the Kings. I don't know what the Kings are doing here. You can make Sabonis your guy and pay him all the money you want and have him be there for the rest of his career. But again, the Kings are a dumpster fire. Again, they shouldn't even be in this league. They are trash. And this team just they tread water every year. You think they get close and then they don't make the playoffs. They choke away because they're trash. So
Tell us how you really feel about the Kings.
I know, and I think they got Alvin Gentry as their head coach. I think he's their interim head coach. I like him a lot. I think he's a great head coach. He deserves to be a head coach. Get him out of Sacramento. I think he can. I mean, I think he even a couple months ago there was a storyline. He ripped the team and said like this was like the worst pathetic thing he'd ever seen in his years in coaching. Well, there you go. Because what are they? This is a dumpster fire. It's trash. Get out of there.
Yeah, and just last week or 2 weeks ago, they offered De'Aaron Fox for Ben Simmons. So, I mean, they've been trying to overhaul for a minute now.
Yeah. They don't know what they're doing. They need better ownership, GM, whatever. But
all they do is draft guards. That's all they do.
Was that?
They only draft guards. That's it.
It was probably a couple of years ago. They drafted like 3 centers.
Maybe, yeah.
You remember that? They like drafted centers. I'm like, dude, you only got 1 center on the court at a time. You only really need 2 really good ones if you want. They like spend all their picks and trading, drafting, whatever on centers. I'm like, gosh, they don't even know how to construct a roster here. I could make a better 2K roster than what we're seeing from the Kings.
Is there anything else NBA wise that stood out to you this week or anything you want to get off your chest?
Well, I mean, the Lakers. Let's talk about them for a second.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah.
Your picks about the Lakers finally came true.
They're garbage? Good. Yeah, I mean, Russell Westbrook, he said something today that like he deserves to close out games. Okay, Russ, how about we send you the G League? There you deserve to go and close out games.
No, Russ has been playing good. he'll have like 7 game stretches where he plays perfect games, and then like 4 or 5 games he just sucks.
And then he'll have a game
everything.
where he makes one shot or where he goes like 1 for 40 and has 5 points in the end of it. I mean, dude, Russell Westbrook, this is this is just bad. This whole Lakers roster is bad. The construction of this team is so bad. And I saw this was TNT, was it Barkley, I think, talking about it the other night, or Shaq? I think it was Barkley saying this Lakers the second best player. You got LeBron, their second best player, Stanley Johnson. Stanley Johnson, your second best player, not Russell Westbrook. Not I mean, you got a team. Austin Reeves has played well, but you've got Dwight Howard. They got all these guys that were great back in the day, but they're a shell of their player, or they can have their moments, but they're not consistently great.
Yeah. My thing, go ahead.
Yeah. No,
my thing is just they need Frank Vogel gone. That's my thing.
No, and I disagree with that. I don't think it's Frank Vogel. I mean, really, what else can he do? Frank needs to suit up himself and try to get some shots up there. This is on Rob Pelinka, and this is on Janie Buss or whatever. That's on them. I mean, they don't have the right players around LeBron. They don't have the right players. They're trying to shop Talon. What's Talon Horton?
THC or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Tucker Horton, whatever. They're trying to shop him, and apparently no one wants him. And I think his bad salary, bad contract, too low or whatever. They're not getting anybody to bite, so they're just stuck. But Russell Westbrook, yes, he'll have his moments, and he's had some good games this year. But the other day I saw him. He was like, I don't know, he made just like 2 or 3 shots the whole game. He only had like 5 points. You had LeBron and AD. There you go. That's pretty much it. Who both had like 25 plus 30, 35 plus points. And then they had the graphic, all 3, and Russell Westbrook, and he had 5 points.
Yeah. Like 3 for 12 or something like that.
He's getting booed at crypto.com arena.
Crypto.com, buy the coin. It's worth it. Buy the coin. We're up at the 54 cents now. Buy it.
Should not have given you that segue. you got, I mean, bro, look, they're booing him. He's taking shots that would be shots I would take, where I'm just jacking up a 3 and it goes on the side of the board. He's doing a shot you see at the YMCA, not what you should be seeing at crypto.com arena.
Buy the coin, guys. Thank you, Matt Damon. Matt Damon is saving us all. We can talk crypto all day. You bring it up. But I think Russ needs, I feel bad for Russ, man. I love Russ as a player. He's a great dude off the court anyways. And as we're talking right now, Portland is beating the Lakers by 4 with under 3 minutes left in the game. No Russ tonight, but this Lakers team, they've got to make a trade by tomorrow. They need to get something.
And you know what game's coming up this weekend?
Who they got this weekend? Mavs?
Warriors and Lakers.
Warriors are not.
Warriors
What's happening to Steph Curry? What is happening to Steph Curry?
He's had some pretty rough games, but I think they're going to crush the Lakers. That game's not going to be close one bit. I think Warriors win.
Hold on. You might want to take that back. The Warriors are down by 23 against the Jazz with 6 minutes left right now.
Wow. Dang.
It could be a 70-point game or a 70-70 game Saturday night, Warriors and Lakers.
Well, it could be. That's a shock, because I think to start the game, the Warriors, I mean, again, it was in the first couple minutes, but Warriors were up like 13-2 or 13-4.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, wow, they really choked as the game went on. But I still think the Warriors are going to blow up the Lakers. I really do, no matter what happens tonight. Oh. I think that Lakers roster is crap.
Yeah, they've got to make some trades. Get Russ out there. The Lakers fans don't deserve him. Go let him play. Get his triple double somewhere else.
Send him back to Oklahoma City.
Send him back to Oklahoma. We'll take him, man.
Let Oklahoma City trade a pick. I mean, I'm sorry, the value is not going to be very high. I mean, you're not going to be giving up multiple players and picks for us. Yeah. Bring him back home.
Let him finish his last 5 years, 4 years, whatever. Matt, so let's go NFL.
Okay.
Kyler Murray unfollows the Cardinals on Instagram. Was he ever following any of his teammates on Instagram?
I did not pay much attention to who Kyler was following, so I'm not sure.
Right. Well, big news, no news. trade happening? What's going on?
I have no clue right now. I'm saying there's not much there. I really think there's not much there. Time will tell.
Kyler Murray is now the favorite to be the Buccaneers quarterback for the start of next season, plus 500 or plus 500 odds.
Well, if
So
they make that deal, you get Godwin back, you got Evans, you got a lot of pieces there to work with Kyler.
I think they'll be
So
having to give up a wide receiver for that.
probably so. That's true because you got to make a trade with that. So I don't know what they would do. And Godwin is a free agent, so I mean, I don't know what trade capital Tampa Bay what they would do, but we'll
I
see.
think it's a big story. I do think it's a big story when you unfollow the team that you're employed by on Instagram. I really do. Brady, Tom Brady, who just retired. I don't even know if it's been 2 weeks, but it's been a great 2 weeks. Has already said you never know about him coming back. Are you buying into this?
You know what? I am buying into it because I know that one phone call with his buddy Gronk, and bam, they're both back together on another team. So everything's up in the air. I would still love to see Brady play again. He's said he wanted to play until he was 50. How about he takes a year off, maybe two, and then he says, "Oh, I'm coming back at age 47."
And
Plays
he'd
again or
probably
something,
win. He'd
and,
probably
and he
win.
probably would. But I mean, it would be fun to see. Where would he go? Where do you think he would go?
I think if Mac Jones does not pan out the next 2 years, I think Tom Brady could say, screw it. I'll go back home, play for another year. The fans will welcome me. We'll waste a
Yeah.
season with me playing again.
That would be great. I don't see that happening. I think Mac is the guy there, but that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know who would sign. Would you sign a 47-year-old Tom Brady? Or he'd be what, 46, 45? I think he's
Why
43 right
not?
now.
Why not? Honestly, if you had a crap team, you would pay him.
Yeah.
You'd pay him. That I mean, just one, you get
Draft a
fans
young
in
gun
there.
quarterback, let him train under Brady
Yeah,
for a year or something.
let him be a mentor. Yeah, that would be cool to see. Probably realistically he doesn't come back, but you know what? If he's talking about it like this, we saw what Gronk did. He took a year off, came back. It could happen. It could happen.
You can't take the game out of the player. You really can't.
It's true.
You really
It's true.
can't. All right, Matt. The Texans hired their defense coordinator, Lovie Smith, as the head coach. This is his third stint in the NFL. His career, 89 and 87, 3-3 in the postseason, and one Super Bowl trip with the Chicago Cubs, who lost to when he lost to Peyton Manning in 2006. What what are your thoughts on this? I don't. They shouldn't have fired. What was it, Coley?
Yeah,
That their
David
guy.
Coley.
They should not have fired David Coley. They had 4 wins on the year, I believe. But if you look at that, they had Tyrod Taylor injured like the first game. You had Davis Mills, playing quarterback the whole year. They were in a lot of games. You win 4 games, you get a huge win against the Chargers last 2-3 weeks of the season. I think the players really liked him. I haven't really heard anything bad about him. But he had that team winning every year. It's kind of like Dan Campbell, or not every year. He had that team competing every week, kind of like Dan Campbell did, and you didn't see Dan Campbell fired. I really think this is more than him just having a 4-13 record. I don't like it how Texans handled Coley. I really think he should have been the guy, especially for another year, maybe another, because you might as well. Who else is out there? But they get their guy DC or Lovey Smith, who's average head coach. I think they're gonna be treading water, same record, bottom of the barrel, just like they always have the last few years.
Yeah, it comes down to roster construction with this team. And I think the Texans did wrong in firing David Culley. I did not agree with this when it happened. When I saw the news on Twitter weeks ago and they made this move, I said, this is not right. You get the guy last year. You don't even give him more than a year. You know what? He got more wins out of that Texans team than they should have had. I mean, really, they win week 1 with Tyrod Taylor and Brandon Cooks popping off. And, then they lose a lot. And then they got a few wins. Like they beat Justin Herbert. They beat him one game. They beat, I forgot who else out of their 4 wins. They beat some playoff teams.
Yeah.
They beat some tough opponents. You pulling it up?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Yeah. So I did not agree with this move at all. And you look at the roster. I mean, Brandon Cooks is great. If he's your number one, you know what? So be it. He's speedy. He's fast. This is he's a good wide receiver. Not really a number one, really on any team, but for the Texans, he's their best guy. But look at their running backs. David Johnson, who that infamous trade with Bill O'Brien, making that deal to send their star Hopkins to the Cardinals. And so you got David Johnson and Rex Burkhead leading, your running backs. I mean, this team was not built great. And you can thank Bill O'Brien for having that GM powers and tearing down the team and being dumb and being an idiot making those trades back in the day. So David Culley was not given much of a chance. I really hate the Texans for what they did to him and brought him in, because I think, if I'm correct, he's like maybe, I don't know if he's that old, maybe early 60s, maybe.
Yeah, early 60s, late 50s.
He had been with the Ravens for so long. This was his first head coaching gig. That's what bothers me. And I want to talk about another team in a minute, if you will, when we're done talking about the Texans, because I have another comment I want to make about this coaching carousel this offseason.
He's been in the league for 27 years as an assistant. 27 years. His first head coaching stint, 66 years old. So here they win week 1, put up 37 against the Jags. They have some tough losses. Week 5, they lose to the Patriots by 3. They lose to the Rams by about 10 in week 8. Lose to the Dolphins. They beat the number 1 team in the AFC, the Tennessee Titans, at Tennessee in week 11 by more than 10 points. They did lose to the Jets. They beat the Jaguars again. They beat them twice. And then they beat the Chargers in week 16, putting up 41 points. And then the final game of the year against the number 1 team in the league, in the AFC, they lose by 3. So, I mean, he's got some close wins. There were some games they only put up less than 10 points, but he's got some wins. They were in some games. They were in the games with the number 1 team in the AFC, and Patriots and all those other teams. So I'm 100% agreeing with you. Unfair.
Yeah, and it's that roster construction. Now, Lovie Smith will do well. He was their DC. He was already on that team. Again, that's what doesn't really make sense. I thought they were going with an outside hire. I thought it was between Josh McCown and
I think
Flores.
I think they had to hire Lovey because of. I think they hired him because he was African American. Which David Coley should have been the head coach still. But I think they had to, and they couldn't hire Josh McCown because it would look even worse for them as a franchise. Not staying in and hiring an African American as well, and going what they do to coaches, quarterbacks in high school. So
should have kept David Coley. That's what it comes down to. Should have kept David Coley. You give him 1 year, that's stupid. That's idiotic. Why'd you hire him in the first place?
Yep. All right, who's the other team?
So I want to talk about the Raiders for a minute. I just,
as a Broncos fan, I love the hire. I love the hire by the Las Vegas Raiders. What a great job. Dude should not be in the league coaching. He's a cheater. He should not be in the league. Josh McDaniels sucks. He should not be in the league.
Well,
go ahead.
I know I didn't like the hire. I saw people saying this is great. Again, I think the Raiders organization did Rich Bisaccia dirty. Again, this is a guy that you start the season, this isn't an issue. You got John Gruden, a guy that has done exceptionally well. And then everything comes out about him, racism and the sexist comment, all the comments he made in those emails and everything. So he's out. Well, Bisaccia steps up, and this team rallies behind him, and they fight for him. This is a guy that gets them to the playoffs. I mean, you go through all of that. You go through Henry Ruggs and
another player got in a car accident.
The another player too. And then you still get to the playoffs. And you are 4th and 9, 1 throw away from tying the game. Maybe you go to overtime and maybe you win. And then we're not talking about the Bengals anymore. This guy at the end of it, I saw on Twitter, since someone posted Bisaccia in his hotel room writing all the players handwritten thank you notes.
Wow.
Handwritten cards. I don't know what it said. It's been a ride. It's been a season. You had Max Crosby, I think it was, and Hunter Renfrow and Derek Carr all like publicly, supporting Bisaccia. Like they wanted him to stay. Now, they hired McDaniels, and everyone, they're all like, oh, we're happy for it, but they were like, Rich is still, is our guy. Now, Bisaccia got hired on by the Green Bay Packers this week as their special teams guy, and they needed help special teams. He's going to do a great job there. But that guy deserved to still be a head coach. Again, another guy that is up in age, who had been in the league forever, got his shot, did everything he could with that shot, and he doesn't get a chance to stay. I think the league has two problems. One, it's diversity in the head coaches, but I think it's also not giving guys a chance. And I know that's up to the owners. There's no rule that you got to be a coach for 2 years and then you can maybe be fired, or 3 years. We see a lot of coaches get like 3 years, and then that's kind of the mark that, okay, we're going to go in
And
another
you see
direction.
these coaches who can't win anywhere. What, Del Rio's the head coach of the Jacks? Who just got hired in Jacksonville? I mean, this is like their third guy or third stint.
Jacksonville's Doug Peterson.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't win, or he won.
Well, he won in Philly, and he had been there the long time.
Yeah, they just recycle these white old dudes who are awful, like towards the end of their career.
Well, I wouldn't say Peterson. I wouldn't say is awful. I wouldn't. He's a Super Bowl winning. He's a coach. Super Bowl winning coach.
Nick Foles, I'll give him that.
There you go with Nick Foles. I mean, in Jacksonville's situation, yes, Urban Meyer was not going to make it past the year. I mean, that had way too many issues. That's an exception. But I mean, when they fired Doug Marrone a couple years ago, and sure, not great in Jacksonville, but his record was, I think, a couple games under 500 because, they had the season when they had Blake Bortles and they were like a win away from going to like the AFC championship.
They went to the AFC championship.
Or they went to, and they lost, right? Yeah. I mean, I mean, and that's a dumpster fire again of an organization. But it's just these guys that have been in the league for so long, they've given a chance, they've given a taste of that honey, and they're not allowed to at least get another year or two under their belt. I think Bisaccia would have continued to done a great job. That's a tough division to be in.
Yeah.
That's a very tough division that the Raiders are in. I think the Raiders take a step back. I think the Raiders are going to go through. I mean, I don't know if Derek Carr is a free agent or what that looks like, but he may. I mean, there could be changes there. We'll see. I really hate some of these moves because, like, David Culley didn't deserve to go. Rich Bisaccia did not deserve to go.
Flores.
And Flores did not deserve to be fired. We'll see how this whole saga goes with his lawsuit and what's happening there.
They won 9 straight, right? 8 or 9.
They were like 1-8 maybe, and then won 9 in a row or something, and almost made the playoffs. I mean, they completely turned it around. And whether what Flores is saying, and being paid to lose games, whatever is going on there, the truth behind it and what actually happened. I mean, they started winning games. It doesn't make sense that he got fired. I don't know why he got fired, what the reasoning was. They cited differences. Well, that may be what the owner says compared to what Flores says. Now, I think the new coach, is it Mike McDaniel? Is that his name?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, the former OC of the 49ers. I'm excited to see what he can do, but he's a brand new first-time coach. Yeah. I think there's a lot of excitement around him, but you got to be skeptical. It's his first coaching gig, as a head coach.
Just see if he can last more than a year.
Yeah, it's just strange that some of these guys that have been in the league forever get their chance, but they don't really get a chance. And that's what really bothered me. I'm like, are you kidding me? I liked Bisaccia. I liked what he did. You watch him, you see the respect he gets from his players. They just didn't pull out the win, but they made the wild card game. They almost beat Cincinnati. And
that bad whistle or that no play that should have happened with the Bengals Raiders too. So I mean, a couple plays away from facing Tennessee or whatever.
It's true.
Whoever they would have played. But yeah, Josh McDaniels will probably be there for 3 to 5 years with an average record.
Probably, yeah.
And then you have Vic Fangio staying at my Broncos for a while, even though should not have been there. But I'm excited about our hire. What do you think about Broncos hire?
Yeah, Nathaniel Hackett. Yeah, I've seen just the videos, and he
He's like
seems
a
like a guy
fun
that you
dude.
want to go play.
Yeah.
You want to go play for, run through a wall. Again, it's a tough division. You
Yeah.
know, it's very tough because that's still going to be run by Kansas City. That's not changing, no matter what changes may happen in their
Aaron
organization.
Rodgers, baby.
You know, I mean, hey, I mean that could throw a wrench in things, but it's still going to be run out of Kansas City. But um, I'm excited. I think the Broncos 7-10 last year. I think they'll continue to make strides. You know, I don't know how optimistic you look, but this very much could be a Broncos team that goes 500 this first season, and that could be a big step. You know,
Yeah.
you win 3 more games, you get right around 500. You win a game or two, get back to 500. So we'll see what happens there. The Broncos were in a lot of games, lost some close ones. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for that coaching hire. I'm excited for Dennis Allen in New Orleans. I like this pick a lot. I mean, yes, we heard Eric Bieniemy also interviewed for that
Yeah. Why
position.
has
I
he
still
not
don't
been
know why.
hired?
I
Like,
don't know.
it's like what we're
Again,
talking about. You see
you
these
got number one
minority
offenses.
coaches. They
Yeah,
get
you
one
got
year or no chance.
yes, you got number one offense. But again, for KC, he stays. Very good
You're
for you.
happy.
So you're happy there, but you want him to get a shot. But Dennis Allen, I think, will do a great job replacing Sean Payton. We saw him coach this season interim when Payton had COVID, and he did a really good job. I don't remember the game, but it was a huge defensive performance for Dennis Allen, and he did a really good job in that game. So I'm excited about that coaching hire. I'm trying to think, what are the other coach? Oh, the Giants. They got Brian Dabble, I think they said Dabble, however you say his last name, from the Bills. That's a good hire there. We see what he was the Bills OC. We saw, the Bills have been phenomenal with Josh Allen. He's got a lot of work to do with the Giants, but I saw the Giants got a new defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, who was with the Ravens. This has been a guy who'd been with the Ravens for a long time, has been really good defensively. Now, the Ravens had a lot of injuries this year. I don't know why they fired the guy, or let him go. But now the Giants got him. Not saying that those two hires are immediately going to make the Giants up there with Dallas, because I think it's
Cowboys
still
should be scared.
Dallas's division. But we'll see what happens there, right? Yeah, a lot of interesting things happening.
Yeah, I like all those hires. I like all of them. The last segment part, not the ones before we were talking about. But anything else to add NFL wise for our big Super Bowl kickoff?
No, I
Whatever
mean,
number it is. I don't even know. I don't know.
well, and Braxton, I don't know if you've got this written down, but can I say one quick thing about MLB? I know we're in a lockout.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Rob Manfred, idiot. He's an idiot. He is I loved how Marcus Stroman of the Mets said he's man clown. That's his
I
name,
didn't see
man
that.
clown. Honestly, as a baseball fan, I don't know why baseball fans don't just say, screw this sport. I'm going to soccer. I'm going to basketball. I'm just going to be a football fan. I'm going to lacrosse. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to table tennis. Why would you even respect the game of baseball anymore? I can't believe they cannot get to an agreement. This is sad. Spring training is supposed to start in 2 weeks or even under 2 weeks. Pitchers and catchers report soon.
Yeah.
They can't right now. Nothing's happening. This is sad. This is sick. We want the game. This is why it's a dying sport, unfortunately, and they're getting trouble getting people to the game. I mean, you're taking a step forward when you got Fernando Tatis, you've got Mike Trout, you got Shohei Ohtani, you got guys that can attract people to the game. They're like,
Yeah,
oh my
finally
gosh.
making steroids legal again for a little bit or whatever.
Well, they're not drug testing right now. But it just blows my mind. They can't come to an agreement. Now, apparently on Thursday, Rob Manfred's supposed to speak to the media. I don't know what he's going to say. If he's going to say anything or more BS that he's been putting out there, but they cannot come to an agreement. And it's really sick. I think what we're going to see when the agreement is struck is there will be a universal DH. I don't think pitchers will bat anymore. I think that's something everyone has been wanting. Now, we've had this debate before. I like the old school rules, but you know what? If this is what it's going to be, it's what it's going to be. It's how it happens. But again, I think the issue is a lot of the salaries, the money, how you pay minor leaguers who get paid like crap. Like they don't even get livable wages.
No.
It's just really sad for the sport. I'm excited for baseball. I'm really ready.
I love opening day.
I mean, you got to be excited for your Yankees every year. You get excited.
I'm done.
Maybe?
I'm done now. I'm done.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for my Rangers because they just put $500 million in 2 players. I'm excited to get Corey Seager and Marcus Semien in the lineup now and see what they do, because the Rangers, who have been crap for 5 years now, have really been bad, have gotten some big names. And I think we're on the path to taking on Houston, who, I absolutely hate. Those cheaters down in South Texas. I hate them.
Bold prediction there, taking on with the Astros. Yeah, I think they take a step back.
Well, look, I not saying that the Rangers are going to win the division this year. It may still be Houston, but honestly, I'll cheer on any other team but Houston. Maybe Oakland wins it this year. That's fine with me. Rangers are going to get better, and Houston will eventually lose all their players, and they'll be crap again, or average. They won't be as good because they don't have as many trash cans. The trash cans are moving out of the city, even though that city is trash. I'm sorry. I said it. Not trash. It's just human.
Travis Scott's going to come after you.
What?
Travis Scott's going to come after you.
Well, look, let me take that back so everyone who is mad can be not mad at me anymore.
Just say it's too human. It's too human.
It's too human. It's too human. I don't want to live there. Okay. It's not trash. Only trash is that team that plays in an orange juice ballpark.
It's a nice ballpark, though.
Didn't
you guys copy their ballpark?
What?
Didn't you copy their ballpark?
Yeah, I know, but we are like a Home Depot. Okay.
I love it. I can see it now. But yeah, Rob Manfred been a joke since 2017 with the Houston Asterix scandal and all that.
Worst commissioner in all of pro sports.
I mean, tried to shorten the game, didn't work. He's tried a lot, but just nothing he does seems to make it better. And I mean, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but you are, and I love opening day. I love during the summer coming home watching some MLB at night. It's always fun, even if it's not a team I really care about. But you got these big name dudes, Tatis, all these other guys. I guess you can still put Trout in there. But hopefully they get something done, because there's nothing. Sports are winding down. It's about to be just baseball season. So hopefully we can get something in the works. And then Manfred steps down tomorrow, like you said.
Hey, if that's what the media does, everyone will rejoice.
Yep.
Everyone will rejoice.
All right, Matt, anything else to add?
I think I'm tired I got all the energy out.
You got all the ranting out. Got everyone. Thank you all for listening. Matt, thank you again for coming on the podcast. That you helped start Burgers and Brats. I'm excited to watch this Super Bowl. Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Central, Eastern, something. Central. All right. Should be fun. Watch it. Remember, only talk during the game, not the commercials. That's when you got to be quiet. So you can listen to those. And then throw out that Skyline chili, because the Rams are going to win. It's going to be super fun to watch. Everyone, thank you all for listening. Make sure you follow on any platform at Burgers and Brats, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Pandora, and hopefully you're watching on YouTube and listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. For Matt and I, thanks for listening. Take care. Stay safe.